people, if you're sick, if you queasy on your stomach, you might want to turn away, because we had another racially motivated shooting and the damn dude lied claiming it wasn't about race. We'll dive into this story when we get done. And a lot of this you can tie this to racism in this country in general, but you can also tie it to the individuals that keep stoking the flames because they have no accountability when these people do anything. And we'll discuss all that after you guys see what happened in Atlanta at a massage parlor.
The deadly shootings in Atlanta, killing at least 8 people. A suspect is in custody this morning, and police across the country are on alert this morning as well, fearing the attacks may have targeted the Asian community. Steve Osensami is in Atlanta with more as the FBI now gets involved. Good morning, Steve.
That's right, Michael. The FBI is working with local law enforcement here, investigating these shootings. And while it's not clear what led to these killings, it is impossible to ignore that these killings happened at Asian businesses like this one directly behind me in Atlanta, and that most of the victims were Asian women. Georgia authorities are investigating 3 crime scenes across 2 counties and what looks like a series of deadly shootings at Asian massage parlors.
My understanding, they shot up a spot there. They've shot up 2 spots here in Zone 2.
After a police chase that took them south of Atlanta, authorities arrested this man, 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long. Police say he was seen on surveillance video outside the scene of the first shooting around 5 p.m. Tuesday at Young Asian Massage Parlor in a North Atlanta suburb. Moments after these pictures, police say he started gunning people down.
We do not have a witness that actually is alive right now that can tell us who shot him.
People were running for their lives. Police say that 2 Asian women, a white woman and a white man, were killed. They say a man who is Latino survived his wounds. His niece says he wasn't even at the business and was caught in the gunfire.
He was coming out of the store beside the massage parlor and the other store beside it, and he was outside.
Investigators say it is extremely likely that Long is the same gunman seen at 2 other shootings more than 30 miles away in northeast Atlanta. And they point to a black SUV seen on surveillance video near the crime scenes. Just 45 minutes after the shooting in the suburbs, police were called to this spa in Atlanta where 3 women were dead inside. While police were there, the call came in from yet another spa across the street where another woman was shot and killed. Police tell us they don't know if race is the reason for these killings, but to be safe, they're putting similar Asian businesses on alert and stepping up patrols.
I mean, I don't know how you would go in there or what kind of motive would drive you to do such a thing.
What?
President Biden has been briefed on this. There have been an increasing number of attacks against Asian Americans in this country. Most people believe tied to this racist trope that Asians are somehow responsible for the coronavirus because of where the virus began. I should also point out again that we still have no motive that police are identifying in this case, but police in cities across the country are responding to this, protectively stepping up patrols in Asian communities. Robert.
Including here in New York City.
Harry, let's talk about the details. And more information came out to give you guys context. So today, they apprehended this guy, and he's saying the reason why he shot up these Asian massage parlors is because he has sexual issues. He's going through the same thing Eric Benet went through when he was dating Holly Berry. He has sexual issues, and these massage parlors, Larry, I can't make this stuff up. This guy said these massage parlors tempted him, so he went in there to shoot him. I was like, man, shut the hell up. If this is really the case, why didn't you take your ass to the strip club? Which one's got more temptation? Massage parlor, strip club. Not only did you go to a massage parlor, you went to the Asian massage parlors, and then there's patterns of you going to other ones prior to the shooting yesterday. Here's the other thing, Larry. Take a look at this. Is this not straight out of central casting for insurrectionists storming the Capitol? Straight out of central casting. And my last point that I'm going to give it to you, Larry, is this. The FBI, even when Trump was in office, has been warning people that the number one threat, domestic threat, worldwide threat, any threat, the number one threat to the United States is what, Larry?
White, male, domestic terrorism.
Not only is it just domestic, They said the number one threat, meaning more than Russia, meaning more than China, the number one threat to the United States of America is white supremacism. White supremacists. And this is central casting right here. Larry, the story is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, it could be something where the guy went over there because he was influenced by all this stuff about the coronavirus and people labeling it as something that's specifically Asian. But when I heard that the guy said that his roommates were saying the guy had a sex addiction and that he was very religious and came from a religious background and that he was in therapy for sex addiction, my first thought was, okay, this is what happened. The guy has a sex addiction and he's frequently these places because if you look at them, these are not just your everyday massage. These are the happy ending type places. And I know that's a terrible expression. People are going to be offended by it, but that's what they're referred to as happy ending massage parlors, because you go there because you can pay for sexual favors, I guess, if you want to call it, whatever they call it, happy ending, because people joke and say you go there and they give you a hand job or something. But from my understanding, that a lot of these places, they're basically just covers for prostitution. And so it seems to me like the guy went there because he probably frequented these places because if he does have a sex addiction, he's frequenting these places. And now he's upset because he's thinking, I can't get. He for whatever reason, he's blaming the women for his addiction, and so he goes in there and shoots the place up. And I mean, it's sad, it's ridiculous. It's more of this. I mean, if that is truly what it is, it's more of the thing where I just feel like we have to get past this whole idea of like demonizing sex and we have this whole puritanical system that we live under where we're led to believe that wanting to have sex is bad and somehow makes you a pervert or deviant or something. And if you have a sex addiction, maybe he really does have a sex addiction. Some people, they just realize, hey, I want to have sex. I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim or I'm a whatever, and I'm not supposed to have sex outside of marriage or before I get married or whatever, but I still do it anyways. It doesn't necessarily make you a sex addict. It makes you someone who is, and for lack of a better phrase, you're just weak. You're weak in your convictions in that sense. But everybody wants to do it. Some people, we all have our different vices. Some people it's alcohol. Some people it's drugs. Some people it's
food,
greed. Some people it's anger. Some people it's sex. But that doesn't make you an addict. And I mean, honestly, I believe, and I don't know if he did this because of the sex thing or something else. If it was a sex thing, I imagine if he was frequenting street hookers on Hollywood Boulevard, which I don't think they really have them anymore. Let's say he was going to some place where they have street hookers. He probably would have went there and shot the place up. If he was in Las Vegas and went to one of those brothels, he probably would have went there and shot one of the places up. I mean, I think he went to where he can empty his blame because he didn't want to take responsibility for his own actions and say, "Hey, I'm an addict."
I don't know about that one, Larry. He went.
That's what I thought when I first heard about this whole thing, saying he was a sex addict.
Okay. But even having said that, your dumb ass don't get to take out your issues on other people. And
no, I'm not giving him an excuse at all. I'm not trying to justify or excuse actions.
I'm not saying that you are. I'm just making the statement that no matter what your issues are, I don't care if you had I don't care if an Asian decided to cuss you out in Asian words. That don't give you the right to go shoot up nobody's massage parlor. That don't give you the right to do that. If you have a sex problem, you need to go talk to your pastor, because the story also said, Larry, that something you hit on, he's fighting with his Christian convictions. Okay? He's fighting with his Christian convictions and his sex addiction. It's a statement he gave. Now, this is what I fear. I hope that all this crap he's saying is not going to have them give him sympathy, Larry, when he shows his ass up in court. I don't give a damn what the excuse is. You don't get the right to go shoot up 5 different Asian massage parlors and then turn around and say the reason you shot them was because you have a sex addiction. That's your problem, buddy. You need to go to jail. You need to be made an example of, and that's just it. Throw away the key.
Lamont, prepare to be disappointed then, because here's the thing. He's a white male that is in Georgia.
Yeah.
And these women are people that were there probably, and I don't know for sure, but most likely they were there working as sex workers in a state that does not allow sex work. And so when they go up there, what's going to happen is the spa, the women, all of that's going to be put on trial. And they're going to make it seem as if this young man was manipulated into a lifestyle that he didn't know how to get out of. And I'm telling you, this is what I think is going to happen when they go to court. That everything else but him is going to be put on trial when the defense takes over. They're going to go ahead and make it seem like this young man was just a nice guy who thought, oh, I'm going to go get a back massage, and then next thing you know, he's thrust into this world of prostitution and sex addiction, and he didn't know how to get out. And so this is the only thing that he thought he could do was to destroy it, and that's what I think is going to happen. And
but Larry,
I think they're probably going to try. They might try and get him out there for insanity or something like that. But
what?
That's what they're going to demonize it. They're going to demonize the women and the massage parlors. Just watch.
Larry,
watch.
He killed 8 people.
Doesn't matter. 12. He's a white man in Georgia. Doesn't matter.
Well, we need to march. We need to ride. Just because he looks like he was at that insurrection, don't mean he need to get away. It's time, Larry, that these people, if we want to get rid of this homegrown domestic terrorism, and I don't give a damn what your issues are, you do this, you're domestic terrorism. We're going to get rid of this, Larry. People have got to be made to pay, because had this been a black guy, Fox News would be running a loop. It wouldn't even skip. It'd be the black guy rolls up there. We got the camera footage. He shoots these sad Asian women who are immigrants to the country. They would have gave them a great story. They're immigrants. Their dads was immigrants, and they worked their finger tooth and nail 55 hours a week to get this business going. And this black heathen runs his ass in there and shoots them and tries to say he has sex problems. If he's got sex problems, maybe he needs to go back to Africa and be an animal. It's some shit they say on Fox. No, Larry.
Yeah.
His ass.
But that's the difference. He's a white dude, and he's in Georgia. What they're gonna do is, I'm telling you, what they are going to do is, if their attorney is simply gonna say, because they don't really have a defense on him to say whether or not he shot him. I think that's just a given at this point. I think what they're just simply gonna do is say the guy is mentally incompetent. He's insane. They're going to show proof he's already been institutionalized for sex addiction. Yeah. And they're just going to say, look, he has a history of mental health with this, and he snapped, and this was caused. He doesn't need prison. What he needs is mental health treatment. They're going to lock him up in a mental facility. He's going to be there for 5, 6, maybe 7 years. They're going to say, okay, it looks like you've made all the progress that you need to be so that you can leave and go out into society and not be a threat to anyone. And they're going to let him go. So he'll do some years. He's not going to do years in prison. He's going to do years in a mental health facility, and that's where it'll be.
Larry, when are we going to get progress and this shit's going to change?
Oh, when I mean, I don't want to say it online, but we know what it's going to take.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well.